Nintendo's coming out and outright saying, bro, it's too hot in the US right now. So your Nintendo Switch 2 might struggle this week in the United States with the heat wave. Part of the United States are in the midst of a heat wave right now, and the excessive heat might impact your ability to play your Nintendo Switch 2. And let me tell you, it is hot out there. I went out there with the puppers earlier, and I swear Emma like melted into the concrete. And by the way, you guys, just a heads up, when it comes to dogs and concrete, they don't mix, especially in the summer. So keep your dogs off the concrete the maximum extent possible. Even in the shade, it's still killer on them. Nintendo offer official support documentation reminds people that if the temperatures in the world around you rise, the system's temperature may rise too. And if it gets too hot, the Nintendo Switch 2 may automatically shut down to protect itself from damage. You know, it really does blow my mind how technology nowadays, basically, it's like, and just quits working just to preserve itself. I think it's an amazing thing, and it's also like saving people money. As spotted by Polygon, Nintendo support site said that anyone using the Nintendo Switch 2 in a location where the heat tends to build up runs a risk of the system shutting down. But how hot is too hot for the Nintendo Switch 2? Let's check this out. Nintendo says it recommends using the Switch 2 in a temperature ranging from 5 Celsius, 41 Fahrenheit, and 35 Celsius, 95 Fahrenheit. The temperature in some U.S. cities around June 24th is expected to exceed 37 Celsius, which is 100 Fahrenheit. I I think yesterday it got to be like almost 98. It was really hot. In reality, your Switch 2 is not going to melt, but it's a good idea to be careful with your Switch 2 or any other electronic devices during this heat wave or other extreme weather events. I know like iPhones um, and Androids, cell phones that is, it does shut off and be like, hey, it's too hot. You need to chill out. I remember playing, what is it, Pokemon Go in the middle of the summer out in California, and my phone would like basically shut off because I would have like my little battery bank plugged in, and I'm catching Pokemon doing event days out in the Central Valley of California where like the average temperature was like 115. It was hot. The U.S. Heat wave is impacting New England, the Midwest, the Mid Atlantic. Heat records have already been set at multiple states across the United States during the last heat wave, with Tuesday, June 24th, expected to break more. More than 160 million people are under the heat alert in the United States today in places like Boston, New York City, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Detroit, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., compounding the unpleasantness and the humidity, which raises the feels like temperature. You know, that's another thing. Who determines the feels like temperature? I know there was one comedian, I can't remember who it was, that was like, we're paying this guy X amount of dollars to go outside and be like, you know what? It might be 100, but it feels like 105. It's just amazing to me how they are like, yeah, it feels like. In other Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo and Amazon have seemingly made up, with the online retailer giant finally selling Nintendo games, including the newest Switch 2 exclusives. Let's go full screen.